Good morning, good afternoon, welcome. We're going to give you guys time to get loaded in, and we'll start in just a moment. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the ISPA Chats with Product Pros series. We're so glad that you're here with us today as we explore innovative new products, adaptations, and reopening ideas from ISPA's resource partner community. We have a wonderful group of panelists with us for today's discussion on retail revenue boosters, and they're going to introduce themselves in just a moment. But first, a few housekeeping items. Please use the chat function to ask questions. We love your feedback during these conversations. The panelists and I see your questions, but no other attendees will see your questions. And they do help us fuel our conversation as we go along today. Also, this session is being recorded and will be posted on ISPA's YouTube page. So if you have to step away at any point, or you know someone who couldn't make it and could benefit from the information, you can catch up there if you'd like. And lastly, because our panelists come from different companies that offer different products and services, their insights and observations may differ. But hearing that variety of opinion is a real benefit of these conversations. We encourage you to use the ideas presented here in the way that is most useful to your spa and your situation. So without further ado, we're going to jump in, and I'm gonna start with you, Boldijarre. First of all, I do want to recognize you for being the ISPA Visionary winner in 2015. That's a fantastic honor for the great work that you've done in our industry, you and your company and your team, fantastic work. And I see that you used your picture from 2015 on the media piece that we put out for this, the little shrunken down Boldijarre. So thanks.
You mean this one? I don't know what you're talking about. I think I look exactly the same. I always laugh. I think it's one of the things that makes me smile all the time. And sometimes people on their social media or on their LinkedIn, they use a profile photo from like 10 years ago or something like that. And I was like, why not go all the way and use something from like 40 years ago? So it's the same. I look just like that. So thank you so much, Patrick. I really appreciate it. And but first of all, what I would like to say, I would like to take the majority of my introduction time to say a couple of huge thank yous. And I want to say one of the biggest thank yous to you guys at ISPA. I don't know if you guys can see my little sparkling pillow. I will love you guys because really the reopening toolkit was one of the most incredible thing ever. And we sent all of our customers and all of our spa partners, almost 4,000 of our spa partners, to that because you guys are the experts, and it allowed us vendors to support our spa partners instead of writing toolkits, like, you know, so that was really amazing. So thank you, ISPA, for that. Thank you for making these panels and keeping our industry together. And without you, I don't know where we would be. So this is something pretty amazing. So giant thank you for ISPA. And you, Patrick, like this is absolutely amazing. I know how hard you have worked and how much work and energy you put into hosting these, and also to working with ISPA, making these toolkits and everything else. It's absolutely amazing. So with that said, I think this is the first panel since the news came out that you have been elected the chairman of ISPA. So we want to say a huge congratulations and all that fun stuff, because no one deserves it more than you, and we really, really, really appreciate you and congratulate you. You earned it, and we look so forward to seeing you as the chairman. So thank you. Okay, I have so much confetti in all that hair that I got. So then quick, say again?
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, don't thank me. You earned it. Like, so this is awesome, and I'm just glad to be the first person and I've been in my first panel since, so we can recognize you. And I know I speak to all of them. That's another thing too I wanted to thank. I want to thank all of the panelists. This is quite, I know how busy you all are and taking the time to help our industry. So thank you all for Hannah, Rebecca, Adar, Melissa for joining us. Really appreciate it very much. And then lastly, I also want to invite me for this panel. Probably you guys ran out of options and somebody must have canceled. And so those of you who don't know me, my name is Boldijarre, and I'm the president of Eminence. And we have been, we are actually a certified B Corporation, and we voted the favorite skincare company 11 years in a row in the industry. So very proud of that. And myself personally, I'm an esthetician and a massage therapist. And I also used to do house painting for 5 years. I never thought I ever gonna finish that house. That was a really big house, but it was just a part-time thing. So that's it for me.
Well, Boldijarre, thank you. I'm gonna come to you. And well, first of all, thank you for your very, very kind words and for recognizing the work that the ISPA staff has done on putting that toolkit out, which has helped so many people. So I appreciate that. And I personally thank you for the kind wishes. I accept them on behalf of myself and Michelle and Kelly, who are our vice chair and our treasurer, respectively. So thank you for that. So we're gonna get started. But thank you for that. But my first question for you, Boldijarre, is tell us about the innovative adjustments your company has made to help your spa partners boost their retail revenue as they've gone through this reopening process.
Well, thank you for the question. So what we did now is what we did exactly the same thing we did in 2008, like when there was a big recession. So we feel like, but first there is a moral obligation to help our spa partners. Like that's number one, because we've been partners in good and bad. And then second of all is that it's really a very important thing to recognize that if the spa partners will do well, we do well. Like, so, and if they don't do well, we don't do well either. So what we really want to do is to support our spa partners in every way possibly can. So in 2008, we did the same thing. We invested even more. And so one of the number one thing we did is invested into more marketing to drive traffic to the spas. And that's like an essential point of everything. So we have upped our digital marketing tremendously because that's the future. Everybody is going digital. And we upped the quantities of e-bursts like that we send out, and they are all geared towards why should you go to a spa? Like, what would be a great thing to, what kind of benefits, health benefits you're going to get out of going to a spa? And in each one of these blogs and each one of these marketing pieces, we would put the spa locator of our spa partners super front, right, and center. So we drive traffic, more and more traffic back to the spas. We also invested tremendously into giving, it's like gifted purchases, as we call them, the business building rewards. We have a loyalty program with Eminence, and then the people can if they meet a certain target, they get a really large amount of high value gifts that they can use as gifted service or gifted purchase. And what we did is we maxed it out. So we knew people are not going to meet their target because of due to COVID. So we gave them the absolute maximum amount, whatever they would, even if they don't meet their targets, so to help them drive traffic. And lastly, well, this is just the highlights, like, you know, and then one other huge piece that we have done is we created an affiliate program that helps spas to earn income while they are closed. Or they don't have enough income or don't have enough capital to make a huge to have a huge inventory. So with the affiliate program, people can sell 24/7 while they close, they do renovation. It drives more new customers to them. And also it's an extended aisle solution. So it doesn't tie up the money of the spas in inventory as much, and we give a huge percentage of it back to the spas itself. And we did all the digital consultation forms and waive minimum orders, etc., that I think most of us have done. So this is just to mention a few.
Those are great. I love the affiliate program. I know many of my compatriots in the spa world on the operations side are looking into those affiliate programs to really help have those revenue streams should we have to close again, which is a possibility in the current situation. But really great steps you guys have taken over at Eminence. And I know Shally Venyige, I hope I'm saying that right, Shally, wants to thank you. You've been a great partner and supportive during this time. So thank you, Boldijarre, for that. Hannah, my dear friend, Hannah, we go back, we were babies.
14 years, I think.
I know. I love what you're doing with your new company. I think it's been with Well Products. I know you've really captured a lot of the market with your new company, so that's fantastic. So tell us to help your spa partners in this time to boost their retail sales.
Yeah, immediately, everyone was wondering what they needed to do to be ready to reopen. So I had created several packages of marketing materials that were generic. I mean, they had nothing to do with my brand, but it was just something that they needed. So whether it was, come ask for testers behind the counter or samples, or this room's been sanitized. I mean, I kind of, the first month I just didn't even know what to do with myself, and I wanted to help in some way. So I started making all of that and made that available to everybody. And then I partnered up with Circadia and Lightstim and White Lion Tea, and we did all kinds of different panels on, sanitization and all of that. So we tried to reach out as quickly as possible, because I think everyone was, even though we didn't know when we were going to be able to reopen, it was, what are we going to do? What's it going to look like? How do I prepare? So I spent the first 2 months, I think, March and April doing that. And then it was drop shipping. So we got straight into drop shipping. I think I started offering that like March 20th. And that enabled people to put together their sets, whether they're doing curbside pickup or drop shipping. It's free to ship to clients, so anyone can do it. I charge you wholesale. I ship it to your clients for free. So, and I eat the cost of that.
Let me ask you a question about drop shipping. It's come up. How are you handling the exchange of that guest information? Who owns that information? So we have to give you their address or their email or their phone number, which we would not do. So how are you handling that exchange, and who's owning that information at the end of the day?
So the client orders from the spa, and a lot of times the spa will include like a live virtual meeting with them or something. But the client orders from the spa, the spa collects the money, the spa sells it to them at the regular price. I have just a little form, and I have them just send it to me, and I ship it to them that day, and I give them the tracking number. I reply back with the tracking number, and that's it. Really, it's very elementary, because we did it like one weekend.
Listen, simple wins the race, right? We know.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important for the operators to hear that there is a way for this to happen and still retain the proprietary information around their guests and mailing lists.
Right. I don't need their email. I don't need their phone number. I just want to know, where am I shipping this thing? And you keep a credit card on file, with me as per usual. And I just charge you for the wholesale cost, and you sell it retail. That's it.
And you do virtual credit cards also, correct?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yes. So we did that, and then a lot of training. The good thing out of COVID is we all have more time to do what we keep meaning to do. And so I've been trying to build out my training portal forever and just never sat still long enough. So that should be done probably next week, so that everyone can just go on and watch videos and all that. When everyone got their PPP and then realized, but wait, we're not open yet. How am I supposed to use this PPP? I was doing virtual trainings, every single day, and which was great. And I got to really know the individual therapist, which I didn't get to do before because everyone was so busy. So now that everyone was at home, I sent them all kits at home, and then we all, kind of did it together virtually. And now they all, what's really awesome about this is I have much more of a personal connection with therapists that I've never had before. And they talk to me constantly on Instagram and Facebook. That's how people are placing orders. I can see them all ordering because I offer a professional discount code for the therapist, and so they're all ordering for themselves and all creating this personal relationship with my products. And they're still not even open yet. So I'm excited for when they do open. But those are the things, I've kind of relaxed some of my rules during this time so that people could really do what they needed to do. And I think the biggest thing are the drop shipping and then the kits, people putting together the kits. I see To Go Spa all the time in kits with mine, COVID calm kits. You'll see them all over the place. And so it's really cool because then a lot of us different brands are getting to work together, whereas normally we wouldn't as much.
That's great. That's great. I love the idea of the kits. I think that's great. We're looking at those opportunities for our brand as well. Those kits, those kits are a great idea. Thank you so much, Hannah, for that you're doing within this sphere for our therapists and for our spa operators. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
She set you up beautifully, Melissa.
Good.
Tell us what you're doing to help with your retail sales for your partners. And I know you also have lots of people who run very small businesses or their own business. So maybe you could speak to that as well.
Sure. Yes, we definitely have a mix. First of all, my name is Melissa. I'm the Director of Business Development for To Go Spa. We are a clean gel mask company. So we do eyes, face, lip, and neck masks. With that being said, we do have our main channel is the professional channel, so spas. And so we have everything from, your small independent estheticians to our resort spas, day spas. And, what we did initially probably is what everybody did is for a couple of weeks, panicked a little bit and had to really rethink our business and figure out how we could support all of these accounts. And so we started with really trying to connect with them because I think that's really was everyone's initial challenge was connecting with their partners. So we had a Facebook group that was for our pro accounts and we doubled it over the last couple of months. I think we're up to like 900 people and it's everyone from spa director to spa owner to individual massage therapist. I agree with Hannah. We're having so many more intimate conversations, relationships with the therapists that use our products. And I have time to interact with them via this Facebook group. And on that group, I asked them what they wanted. And it's similar to what everybody said. We put together an affiliate program, which ended up, being successful. But I think more so it was a way for our accounts to stay connected with their customer base. And so with the affiliate program, we created all of the marketing pieces to just say, here you go, put this out there, post it on social, just stay connected to your customers. And then they wanted deals for do-it-yourself facial boxes. So we, had to be flexible. I think we've all had to be flexible. And so we never sold we always sold 3 packs of masks. So we started doing individual masks. And those were sold like crazy and are doing so well in those facial boxes, which I think will carry over as our resorts continue to open those do-it-yourself facials until we can really all get in there and do skincare everywhere. I know a lot of places are still limited right now. And then education. So same thing, we use that Facebook group to connect with, not just me educating them, connect them with other estheticians and just keep conversations going and staying connected during this time.
That's great. That's great. I love the idea of creating a virtual training room and meeting space for different therapists to come together and talk and exchange ideas. I think it's really, really important right now. So people don't feel so isolated if they can talk to someone who's in the exact same sphere that they're in.
Yes, absolutely.
That's great. Thank you so much, Melissa. Rebecca, you are our, our last minute addition. You hopped in, both feet into the deep end. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate
Thank you for having me.
I love your line. It's a beautiful line. I've seen you many times over the past couple of years on the floor at ISPA, so thank you for your support. We appreciate that, and the line is beautiful. Can you tell us what you're doing to help your spa partners on the retail side right now?
Of course. Patrick, I actually think I got to give you a facial at one of the times on the trade show floor, so it's good to see you here. Very similar to what everybody else has mentioned, we jumped right in. I'm the lead educator for Sorella Apothecary, and all I could think about was just getting out there and holding space. So there was a lot of great tools that we provided as far as education goes, and we opened it up to everybody, where normally we would keep that proprietary to just our spa partners. We opened it up to all estheticians or service providers in a way to create a community. Like you said, I think other people just want to also hear what other people are going through, and we kept the space really positive, and then everybody got to learn and be educated as well. We did a lot of collaborations with devices and other lines as well, and I think it was really important to kind of show the camaraderie, not just in like the service provider world, but the vendor world as well, because we were also all experiencing the same thing. And so that was amazing. I get goosebumps still just kind of thinking about everybody who's come together, and even with things reopening, keeping those connections and keeping people engaged. But to help our partners specifically during the time, we also did the drop shipping. That's not normally something we offer, but how we did it is our partners would get online and they would take payment from their clients, and we would drop ship directly to them. And then we did a lot of support on Instagram. We started reaching out to like an end consumer base, and then that provided a lot of tools for our partners to be able to use, because as many people who were chomping at the bit to try and move through this, there were still some people that were processing at home, and so we really wanted to provide the tools where they could just plug that in, whether they were using one of our IGTVs or our other, we've got a plethora on our resources site of photography and everything that they can use and share. So we just made that accessible, and it's something that for us, it wasn't a huge adaptation. It was just kind of refocusing, and a lot of our partner relationships are a lot stronger, and a lot of people that we got to meet in the community through all that outreach.
I have a question for you, Rebecca. It's from Stephen Gronek. He says, with the affiliate programs, are you doing drop shipping via going through the spa, or are they providing a business code for the guest to use on the actual brand's website? The fear that we train the guest to go to the website of the resource partner as opposed to going to the website of the spa, which could be a real concern if you're a day spa owner. You want to retain that traffic to your own website, and for hotel spas. So how are you handling that, Rebecca?
We actually do not have an affiliate program. So what we did is all of our spa partners clients had to order through their spa, but we offered the drop shipping. So the contact would come through from our partner. They would send us the billing address. We don't keep credit cards on file, so our partners would pay for that. And then we would ship directly to them. And we did all the shipping through our partner's account, but with their client's address and name. So all that information stayed within our partner's account. They had the tracking number, they could provide the tracking number to their clients. And so really Sorella was just the vessel to ship the products directly, so that they didn't have to keep that on stock in their space.
Hannah, I saw your hand go up.
Yeah, same thing. You cannot drop ship through our website. In fact, if people call and say, can I get the product? I'll tell them to go to their website and say, look, you pay shipping for me. So I only offer shipping to the spa. I do not offer shipping to the consumer. And then sometimes I'll have clients come in from a spa that's been closed, and maybe they don't realize their spa is open again. So if I get an order from Wisconsin Dells, that's for sure Sundara. And so I'll tell them, Sundara is open. You can actually pick it up there, and then you don't have to pay for shipping and wait for it to come. So I'll cancel an order and send them an email or something if I can catch it in time or whichever. But they pay shipping with me. They don't pay shipping if they go through their spa.
That's a really great distinction. Boldijarre, I see you're very up.
These are all absolutely awesome ideas, and I think also to put your mind at ease about the affiliate program, a couple of things that you can do so you don't have to worry about any of these. So for example, what we do is that we provide you with a very specific code with a very specific link, and that auto-populates the name of the spa and who are we giving the benefit to. So all of this goes immediately to the spa, and each step along the way of the checkout process. So when you have order confirmation, when you have shipping confirmation and everything, we tell to our customers to make sure that you go back to that spa. So we constantly prompting it so that there is no fear that customer would ever lose that. And the amount that what we do, and then all of the things, for example, fulfilling the shipping, fulfilling credit card processing fees, the shipping itself and all that. And if you really look at it, it is almost it's equal or better deal than if you sold it off your shelf directly.
Absolutely. And I think all of you are saying the same thing about it helps reduce the inventory being held on the balance sheets for our spas out there. Adar, coming to you. I do want you to answer the question about what you're doing to help your spa partners. I know you have many, but can you also talk about, I know one of the things that happened when we reopened was that in many places it was just the salon and nails that opened. So can you talk about the business you've seen from that perspective, in addition to what you're doing to help your spas reopen on the retail side?
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. My name is Adar Venyige. I'm with Dazzle Dry, Director of Sales for Dazzle Dry. And I just wanted to echo what everyone else said in regards to thank you to ISPA for everything you guys have been doing to keep our community together. These are tough times, for everyone, and the need for community is greater than ever. So you guys have done really a wonderful job. So thank you. Yeah, I mean, we've been really fortunate from the perspective of nail services came back first. And even, the great work that a lot of our equipment manufacturers like Living Earth Crafts have been doing in terms of protective equipment, barriers, things like that, to get consumers comfortable with getting back into the nail salon and performing a service. They've done a great job, and it's enabled that specific niche to come back right away. There's no doubt that March, April, May, even into June was devastating for our entire industry. But as soon as things started to come back, nail services were one of the first ones. So we were really fortunate from that perspective. The reality is that it's still, a lot of the resort spas mainly are still running, 25 or 50% capacity. Nail bars, day spas, beauty salons, they're very busy. They're trying to still maintain space in their facilities, so they're not filling up every single chair per se. But as most of the women on tuning in today, the first thing they were doing is, listen, I got to get waxed and I need to get my nails done. So they got back in there with masks and whatever was needed. But in regards to the industry as a whole, for us, it was really this was an opportunity for Silva Nahabedian, our Director of Education, and our 16 educational ambassadors around the country to train during this downtime. And more importantly than just training, because it was an opportunity to keep all of our customers engaged, it was an opportunity for connection. People were really, really, really down and really hurting during this time. And I speak for myself too. It was a very difficult time. And let me tell you, getting on a Zoom call or talking to a nail tech or a spa director who's been furloughed and just connecting was like medicine. for a lot of us, you know, and it was, so the trainings really served, as Hannah mentioned, an opportunity to connect with our nail techs and spa directors personally, but also to create that human component of like, hey, I know you're hurting right now and we're gonna get through this together and we're here to support you. And in the meantime, let's do some training and get you really proficient on how to use Dazzle Dry effectively. In addition to that, the really nice thing is Dazzle Dry has always been had the strongest component in from a retail perspective. So it was a really easy transition for us to say, okay, you're not having customers come in and sit in the chair per se, but we have A, B, C, D, and E that you could use as a retail component. So whether it's, you know, our incredible mini kits, I don't know if you can see those, our mini kits that have the entire Dazzle Dry system. They come in 40 assorted colors. This was a wonderful opportunity to keep that revenue being generated, whether it was someone that was on the resort property that didn't want to come into the spa, just wanted to do their nails in the room, or like some of the other panelists said, you know, sell it directly to them, drop ship it directly to the consumer. We did not drop ship ourselves for some of the fear that everyone just spoke about. I think it was Stephen that mentioned it. We didn't want the spa to feel like we were retraining the consumer to come to the Dazzle Dry website and find the product there. We would not survive without our spa partners. And we wanted to make sure that, so what we did was we basically said, hey, listen, we've got our mini kits, we've got our mend and maintain oils, we've got our polish removers, we've got our, you know, heels and elbows butter, we've got callus treatments and foot care treatments that you could do at home. We'll ship them to the spas directly or to these business owners directly. You fulfill it so you can maintain this relationship with your consumers. Even though we probably could have done it for them and taken a little bit of that burden off of them, we really wanted to make sure that they didn't feel like we were infringing on their customer base. So the retail component has really, I mean, I've got emails galore from spa directors and spa owners saying, hey, Adar, your mini kits kept us alive during those 90 days when we were not with $1 in revenue, or your 1 ounce polish removers, or whatever the case may be. So I'm really fortunate that Dr. Valenti and the company had the forward thinking to create these kits and systems and retail components that we could offer our spa partners to sell and keep them afloat during these times. But the good news is it is coming back. It is coming back. I'm seeing it. We had an amazing July, and you know, we're all in it together, and I think it's going to be okay. We're going to do this.
I think, you know, and Carrie Sotabir just sent me a message to all of us saying connection has been key. Much gratitude for each of you. And I think, you know, we've all learned in this time how much we need each other, you know, and it really sort of, if there was ever an event that brought us together across the resource partner operator chasm that sometimes exists, I think we all realized how much it's a very symbiotic and necessary relationship. And, you know, we've all witnessed firsthand how great the support has been from the resource partners for the spa operators. So thank you guys for that and for your innovative ideas about how to keep us open and keep us viable. You know, it's not, we can't take that for granted. So, you know, Hannah, Rebecca, Melissa, Boldijarre, Adar, thank you. Thank you for that, for your support. It's been amazing. Rebecca, I want to come to you. A lot of spas are still opening or not quite opened yet. Can you talk about what you're seeing in terms of trends? I know you're really on the skincare side in terms of seeing in trends in terms of high demand products as spas do reopen.
Yes, we, same as Adar, we launched a mini kit during all of the shutdowns, and we're seeing a huge surge in that with our partners that are opening, because they, you know, they have the ability essentially to have a full regimen in 4 products in each kit. And then that is giving everybody the taste of the product. And then the partner feedback that we're getting is they're selling these kits, and then immediately their clients are coming back to purchase those products in full size. So it's having access to many things at a lower rate that I think are less of a blow to their clients financially, because some people are even, you know, still out of work, the people who are paying for the services. And so that's been huge feedback. But I'd say the products that I saw spike during the shutdown was like products that maybe don't normally sell as fast, masks and exfoliants, right? People are so quick to easily put in a cleanser, moisturizer, SPF, but the products that sometimes they don't always take that time to pamper themselves at home that they go to their providers for. Our providers and spa partners did such an amazing job with their outreach and communication to their clients at that time, educating them on all these services they could do at home without the fear of, okay, if my client starts doing this at home, are they going to come to me when I open if they start doing this? And that it was the exact opposite effect. It was this respect for the education that they were gaining, a whole new respect for their service provider, and knowing that the better they treated their skin at home, the more they could actually do with their provider when they got back in there. If anything, it just made the relationship stronger. So I saw a spike in products that are maybe not as often purchased at home to pamper themselves.
That's interesting. I think, and maybe because people are doing the do it yourself at home treatments until the spas reopen, it sort of helps move those products that may be less easy to understand, like a cleanser is, or a moisturizer. That's really interesting.
Yeah, the feedback on that was just through the roof as far as success with, our partners had time to communicate with their clients. And it was just, like I said, it was just an overall respect on both ends of respecting their esthetician with the knowledge and sharing it. And then empowering people at home to take care of themselves so that they could come back to the treatment room. Because not a lot of it is just pampering. Some people were on full acne regimens, things that they were actively going for things that they had to do. And these estheticians were able to pivot and provide some of that care for them at home, getting them ready to jump right back in when things were open.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for that. Boldijarre, what are you seeing through Imminence on the high demand, high valued products right now?
There we go. All right, sorry about that. Forgot to unmute. So a couple of things. It's very, very safe to assume in skincare business that the upcoming trends are usually reflected in the food industry and in the food market. So whatever you see that people are, as far as nutrition and wellness that they are looking for, is what's going to come down in the pipe. So a huge demand right now in wellness, which is fantastic for the spa industry, and natural and organic solutions. And it's just became like a whole holistic, whole new thing for everybody, immune boosting and so on. So the bicycle sales have been like I think there is no bicycles in the stores. Everybody bought all the bicycles. Like, orange juice sales are like up like 3 times. Like even myself, I make a fresh squeezed orange juice every morning and my mood have gone up. My doctor thinks it's the vitamin C. I think it's the vodka that I put into the juice, but I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. So I'm not an expert. But joke aside, a couple of things is really truly, when I mentioned vitamin C, we have seen a very incredible uptake on our vitamin C serums, and then anything that says well-being or immune booster and just overall organic and natural has been in a huge demand. We have seen an incredible amount of uptake compared, like for our new product, the new partner application forms that people want to partner with us. We actually have a higher number of partner application forms now than we have had at the same time last year. So the trend is definitely going there.
What do you attribute that uptick in new client interest to?
It's a great question. So one is the fact that everybody's looking for organic and holistic kind of an approaches, and that's part of, like I said, you could see it in the food industry. The other really big thing is right now, one of the biggest thing is it's actually even the CEO of Unilever have said that people are going for brands that are well known. One of the biggest things is that people simply have more limited amount of income and they can't afford to put their money into something they are not sure of. And so often, like the people choose the big brand names, like, because they also looking for things that are have a very high SEO, search engine optimization value, and drives traffic to their spa versus them having to educate their customers about whatever they carry.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Hannah, I know you were on the body side of this, in a sphere that we all probably need more of, the pain CBD. So what are you seeing as those, if I'm reopening my spa in a month and I'm coming to you to talk about my opening order or reopening order, what are you saying are the top 3 must-haves that you're seeing as a trend?
Well, for sure, massage. I mean, that just goes without saying, and pedicure. So like as Adar was saying, so, we've all been sitting non-ergonomically. We're so used to sitting in an ergonomic chair, and now we're sitting at kitchen tables and couches doing our work all day. And so we're all a mess. We haven't seen chiropractors. We haven't seen had our regular massages or anything. So, so the massage has been huge uptick for those spas that have already opened. I saw a couple of people mention in the chat room about California, because I'm in California and we're not open yet. And so we've been getting really, the retail, of course, has been huge, because they can only, the spas that are open can only bring 50% or 25%, whatever the capacity is. So they're not able to get another appointment for a couple of months. And so then they'll take the retail component home with them. And, we're all so anxious, losing sleep, stressed out from everything. So CBD products just come hand in hand with COVID, sadly enough. So, so that's the retail has been huge for those that have opened. For those that have not open and are not able to get a massage, especially in California where we are, they're not able to take care of them, go in and see their therapist. The retail has been a huge component. I've made these little Bliss Boxes, and they're essentially a body treatment in a box that they can take home with them. Spas and salons can open as a retail location. They cannot offer services inside. So some, for instance, with the pedicures, right? Because they don't have a water source, or it's too hard to bring the water in and out, it's not sterile enough and all that. My body mask has had a huge uptick because it's a waterless body mask. So you just apply it, wait 8 minutes, massage in. And so because there's no water source and they're doing pedicures maybe in their courtyards and things like that, that's something they can use.
Is that the body mask that you paint on with the fan brush? Is that really, what is that scent? It's a beautiful scent.
Lavender, thank you. But it's a very natural, it's a very, very light lavender. That's why you couldn't tell, because it's mixed in with the clay. So everything kind of goes hand in hand. I built my company from the back room forward. And so the biggest thing with back rooms is, so I have a scrub that doesn't make a mess and a mask that you don't need to wash off, things like this, right? And so these are perfect for the California, especially the California spas and salons that need to be doing everything outside.
That's great, thank you. Melissa, I want to come to you on her name here is Beautiful Dame Skincare. So we'll call her Beautiful Dame. I want to talk about your approach to how you're approaching the retail and service aspect for California. She's very specifically asking about how we're not doing a one-size-fit-all approach. So can you talk about that from To Go Spa's perspective?
So in regards to California specifically, is that what you're talking about? So right now, the largest way we've been able to support our California spas is with the do-it-yourself facial boxes that we've all kind of talked a little bit about. So that's an opportunity. And the other thing that our accounts have asked for is different price points. So making sure that we have different options for them, for their guests to be able to purchase. That's the main thing that we've done, in addition to, kind of thinking outside of the box. We launched a hand treatment it was in the works prior to this, and we were just fortunate on the timing that everybody would be in the situation of overhand washing. And some of our spas are doing so many amazing things that can get into the treatment room. They're doing, you know, hand rituals where they're, you know, sanitizing and then they're treating the hands. So our hand masks have come into play there. That's been really great. So that's how we've been supporting our California accounts, but across the board, add-on services have been, there's been a huge increase for us in terms of back bar sales. So our therapists are adding on services, you know, looking to increase their ticket and enhance the experience for the guests. We've seen a major increase in back bar sales, and that being service enhancements for our brand because we're mainly masks.
So you may not have the answer to this question, but the process is the therapist is taking the guest to the treatment room, they're sanitizing their hands,
Correct.
and the therapist performs a hand treatment on that guest's hands to moisturize, etc. Do you have any price ranges of what your partners are charging for that type of service?
You know what? The ones that I've heard have included it within their service, just to try, especially in our luxury spa world, just to try to kind of get away from the whole clinical experience and bring back that more nurturing spa component, just because it is a new feeling for everyone coming into the spa with a mask on, you know, all the sanitizing. It certainly is a different experience. I'm sure, you know, some of us have gotten back into the massage room. It's different. So it's a way for them to fluff up that process, that kind of sanitizing process, and create more of an experience for their guests.
That's great. I think there has to be, as you know, I think we've all sort of embraced the concept that we're going to be in this position sometime to come. And the more that we can separate ourselves and make those small touches really work for our guests, it doesn't feel so clinical, but at the same time, we're still keeping them very, very safe. But we're adding in those little touches that make it feel like a spa again, which is great. That's a great tool for all of us to think about. Thank you for that, Melissa.
Absolutely.
Adar, coming to you on the nail side, I'm opening my salon in a week or two, well, or a month, or I'm reopening if we're in California. What are you telling me I need to have on the shelves or ready to be drop shipped to meet that demand that you're seeing?
Great question. You know, I wanted to actually, if I may, I'd like to start with California for a second, just to, you know, the reality is that California is probably one of the biggest markets for every vendor out there, right? As far as the amount of disposable income, the amount of spas, the amount of resorts, etc. The nice thing in the nail sector, and Hannah mentioned this, is doing services outside is something that I think over the next 6 months is going to be very prevalent in California especially. And then as weather gets better in the Sun Belt, you know, Arizona, New Mexico, and you can start doing things outside, Southern California, etc. I think courtyards, converting parking lots into like little salon areas or canopies and things of that nature is going to get actually pretty important. The nice thing about Dazzle Dry is that, and I forget who mentioned, but they talked about moving water back and forth. The nice thing about Dazzle Dry products is everything that we do is conducive for a waterless manicure or pedicure. So if it's our lemongrass callus spray, you do not need to soak the foot in order to get rid of the callus. If you're talking about using our scrub and then using our shea butter to dissolve the crystals in the scrub, all of that can be done without having to soak or without having to use water at all. You could just use a towel to kind of towel it off. So for California specifically, because it looks like that's going to be the most stringent, I would say that as vendors and as you know, partners, what we could do is try to figure out how we're going to help them make money from their communal spaces. And also there's this association with, if I'm not indoors, I'm not as susceptible to getting this thing, you know, just being outdoors in fresh air, etc. So, you know, if I see what's going on in California, you see hairstylists cutting hair in parking lots and on the sidewalks and stuff like that. It seems a little weird, but if that's going to be the way for them to drive revenue, we have to try to accommodate that. So at Dazzle Dry, that's what we're doing, is we're making sure everyone understands the waterless manicure pedicure protocol so that they can do all of this without having to actually soak or have water in some capacity. In regards to the next 6 months and products that you have to have, it's going to be, I mean, we are going to get customers coming back into spas in the states that allow it. Revenue is going to pick up for our spa partners. I have no doubt about it. It's a matter of when we get them in the chair, and this is something that all spa directors that are on this call right now can probably attest to. This is what they're training their staff to do. How do we upsell into retail, right? How do we get them to do the service and then tack on another $150 worth of stuff that they can take home, right? And it's a matter of arming yourselves. And I'll tell you, Rebecca, Hannah, Boldijarre, Melissa, you know, I hear them talking. These are the experts, you know, go to your sales reps or your director of sales and say, hey, listen, what are the things, and help me train my team as to, while I'm doing the service, how I'm going to set up the upsell to, you know, to drive more retail revenue. What are we going to do as spa partners to incentivize your staff to, you know, running contests, or, you know, giving gifts out or things like that for those that actually are upselling products. But for Dazzle Dry specific in the nail industry, being able to give them take homes like cuticle and nail oil, polish removers, you know, things that are going to keep the heels moisturized in the 2, 3, 4, you know, 2, 3, 4 weeks while they're not going back to the spa. And I think Rebecca's the one that said it, or maybe even Hannah, I'm not sure, that just because we're selling retail to them, it actually makes the service when they come back in more effective. You know, it's less work for the nail techs when they come back in, if they're doing some things at home to maintain themselves, whether it's moisturizing heels, whether it's putting cuticle and nail oil on a regular basis, whether it's removing your polish when it starts to get, you know, icky and get it off so the nail can breathe a little bit. Those types of things can be an asset to your spa provider. It's not taking business away per se. So those are the types of things that we're working on. And but yeah, I mean, I really think that the retail component is going to save our spa partners in the next 6 months until we can get back to normal.
Agreed with that. Thank you, Adar. Boldijarre, coming to you. We're getting close to the end, so I want to be a little tight with these answers. Can you tell me, it's a difficult time, but what are you finding as the silver lining in this time that we're in?
I think the silver lining is that difficult times bring out often the best in us, and I think the whole industry have pulled together. And again, want to thank again ISPA for leading this. And it also brings out creativity in all of us. It's like absolutely fantastic. If you take a look at it, for example, we made this new disinfecting wipe. It's called the Mr. Cleaner. It looks a lot like the other brand that some people say that it's called Mr. Clean, but I see no resemblance at all. So we just want to help out people. This is just a joke. Don't try to order that. The other thing is what we're trying to do is I think lots of people came up with so many things that will strengthen their brand and their spa much longer, way past COVID. Like, so social media, for example, people are starting to really realize that I can't stay and this is not the time to become a dinosaur, and don't go along with the idea that we need to have SEO optimization. We need to have our menu optimized. We need to make sure that we are experts in every venue of social media and driving traffic to our spa. Also, education became a thing too. I think people realize that you have to reach out for your vendors. Your vendors are experts in selling. Use your vendors, make sure that they come to you. If they can come to you, do Zoom trainings with them and help them teach your staff to sell. Because as we all know, many therapists, that used to be me too, they're like, I don't sell, I'm a healer. I need to put my crystals out to get recharged. I don't have time. So when you have that, I was one of those, I'm an esthetician. So, and you have to learn, it's a skill. Help us help you. And I think that brought the industry much more together.
Thank you. That's great. That's great. Thank you. And the humor, it always helps in these difficult times.
I always say I take business seriously, just don't take myself too seriously, because life is too short.
Yes. Hannah, silver lining. And
I totally agree. I want to go right along with Boldijarre of put the problem on us. You have so much to worry about with juggling new schedules. Everyone's doing 3 jobs at once and trying to figure out how to fit everyone in. I've literally had clients of mine, which I appreciate so much, call me and FaceTime me and walk around their retail area going, help me bundle, what do I put together? And there's so much to do, especially because we're moving out of fall. And in case no one knows this, pumpkin spice lattes are coming out in 2 weeks. So as soon as that hits, people are going to be thinking pumpkin mask from M&M's, okay? So it's like, get rid of all of the watermelon slice nail polish and put it all with the citrus candles and make little bundles and get them out and bring in the fall, because fall means comfort. And that's what everyone's going to want right now. And if you want a little boost in retail, bring all the CBD comfort and all of the pumpkin masks and all of those kinds of things together and make it easy for your clients to take home with you. But that's what's so exciting is all of us here love each other on this panel. None of us have worked this much together. And so it's really fun to do that. And so again, have the spas contact us and let us do it for you. We love it and we're having a great time.
I love that. We're a community. We're a community of spa.
Yeah.
So that's great. Melissa, we're close on time, so I'm going to give you the last insight on the silver lining that you've seen in this time that we're in.
Similar, deeper connections with fellow vendors, my accounts, just more meaningful time to have more meaningful conversations. And I love what Boldijarre said regarding creativity. It is during these difficult times where, entrepreneurs are challenged, and it's kind of exciting. We've all been at this for a while. It's certainly, there's a lot of sadness going around, but from a professional aspect, to think outside of the box and figure out ways to, rethink your business and support your accounts, because we are going to get through this. And the fact that we all have each other is awesome. So
that's great. Adar, a quick word.
Real quick. As Melissa said, we are going to get through this, and it will come to an end, and we will see each other in May, and everyone will be back together again here in Phoenix for ISPA. I think the one thing that I want to say is touch on my earlier point, what Carrie said. I haven't seen Melissa since ISPA, but I know she's homeschooling children, and I know it's perhaps very difficult. And we've all got stresses at home, and reach out to each other and care for one another. And Boldijarre sent me such a nice message the other day. And, those little things go such a long way, because set aside the spa industry, we're all human beings trying to just make it through this difficult time. So just remember that, and we're all struggling, but we're all going to get through this together. And thank you guys.
Thank you, Adar. Rebecca, quick word.
Everybody had such great things to say. Boldijarre, Hannah, Melissa, Adar, Patrick, the entire ISPA team. But I 100% agree with Adar, the human connection, and remembering that it's humans behind these brands. It's humans that are your spa partners. It's humans that are your spa partners' clients. And that human aspect, I think, has been more real than ever. And it's been very fulfilling.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I can't believe we're at the time. It's gone so fast. And I want to thank all 5 of you for your fantastic conversation, your heart, and your words. I want to thank our attendees here on Zoom and on Facebook Live, and those who will watch us later, for your participation and your belief in ISPA and what we're doing here. It means the world to us that you're letting us guide you through this process, and that you're helping us be a part of this process together. It's so important. We do have a great conversation tomorrow with Dr. Brian Williams at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about diversity and inclusion in the spa industry. What a timely conversation that will be. Also, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. on the 18th, we'll do another Chats with Product Pros. We're going to focus on innovative product training and resources for your spas. Go to experienceispa.com to register for both the conversation with Dr. Brian Williams and for next Tuesday. On behalf of ISPA, on behalf of our wonderful resource partners who've joined us today, and on behalf of all of you, thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.